You know, here's an interesting thought. I think. Here's an interesting thought. I think. It's like it's like my mom. She painted a painting one time. She did, and like there's all these fights between different families when a family member dies. It's like who gets what, and sometimes people fight over who gets what, right? But that painting is mine. I claim it. No, I do. And I curse anyone who would ever take it from me. No, but like you have to understand this story of this painting. The story of this painting is that my mom was in public schools and she was in art class, right? Now this may sound strange to people out there nowadays because as as public schools have progressed, quote unquote, they've moved away from imagination and art and towards just pure obedience. But there used to be art classes in America at one point in time. And so my mom, she was in this art class. And she had this art teacher. Right, because there's just a history of art that you can detail, and like one of my favorite artists is fucking what's his name? He was because there was all these sculptures in Italy, and they used to be so fucking like religious, but we had this one guy, I forgot his name. Fuck, I hate that I forgot his name. There's just too much in my head though right now. What's his name? Fuck. But he used to make these sculptures that just had just so much emotion within them. They're so different than the dry, monotonous religious sculpture of the time. Monotony is tyranny. But yeah, no, what the fuck was his name? But he just made all this passionate fucking sculptures. He did. And but then the world moves on, right? Every day is a new day, and time always transforms. and eventually you have motion pictures, movies, right? And it's like fundamental, one of the most fundamental movie makers in history happens to be a fucking Canadian. Like, damn. Like, I don't like I've actually seen some good Canadian shows one time. One was about a succubus, and then there was The 100, like, and it eventually started getting cheesy and stupid. But like the first few seasons of The 100 were good, you know. So those Canadians can still make some good shit. But Alfred Hitchcock, right? And Alfred Hitchcock, he was the same type of artist as this artist of these sculptures that I'm talking about. I wish I remembered his name. Cause like Michelangelo, he gets all the name recognition because he was a servant to the correct historical people. um, they paid his bills. But you know, Alfred Hitchcock, he taught the same thing. It's just like if you can capture emotion within a story, like that's what you want to do as a filmmaker, is capture emotion within a story. Um, so anyways, my mom, she was in art class, and she'd always paint just like every other student. And this teacher, who was this passionate teacher, there are some passionate teachers in this world, but he's a passionate teacher, and he always used to come by, and he was like a Simon Cowell. He was totally like, and he would always shit on everything she ever painted. He'd just shit on everything she ever fucking painted. And she, this is what she told me, right? Now I'm reading some things in between the lines here that she didn't tell me. So correct me if I'm wrong. But but like she told me she just got fed up because like she has this painting in her home, and she just got fed up, and she just got pissed, and so she painted this painting, and she called it After the Bomb, right? Because she's living in this time where there's all these big nuclear fears, and so that's what she painted. It was after the bomb. And what you have to understand about this painting is that she painted a woman who had red hair, and she has red hair. She painted a woman who had red hair, and she has red hair. And but this woman was, because she's a teenager. She's a redheaded teenager, and she's painting a woman who's an older redheaded woman, and this older redheaded woman's just like staring at you, because it's after the bomb, and so she's like staring at you as if she's just been devastated, as if she's just been totally devastated. She's just staring at you. But because when she painted it, she was just this skinny, redheaded woman. And when my daddy married my mommy, they were both just skinny people. But the woman in that picture looked exactly like the older version of my mother. It looked exactly like her. Like, because when she was painting it, it didn't look like her. But it just, like, it does. It looks exactly like her. Because she's always had trouble with diabetes. Like, I've got diabetes in my family. So I need to fast as much as I can in order to avoid my genetic predisposition towards diabetes. But diabetes hit her, and she never knew about good eating, because my mommy and my daddy always fed us poison. Because that's all they could afford, poison rather than real food. So it's not their fault. It's their parents' fault, and the parents before that, and the parents before that, and ultimately it's the fault of moral leaders. But she got big. She got big and bloated, and I have trouble with bloating too, like bloating in my ankles and my joints. Like I gotta fast in order to avoid bloating in my ankles. But here's the interesting thought. Because people talk about prophecy. And first of all of us are prophets if we allow ourselves to be. All of us are prophets if we allow ourselves to be. But the interesting thought is this, that prophecy can be conveyed through images rather than words.